So we have a chance to speak about Moses Mendelshon and the Haskalah. So it's a good chance. Oh, they're doing a. Oh, nice shoes. Do you know about Moses Mendelshon?
Yes, просвещение.
Yeah, enlightenment.
Oh, you read it? Nice. People, no. So what we were speaking about was how he affected the people around him to see things in the way Immanuel Kant saw religion. And this is how it shaped that Yidden would not convert to Christianity, they would keep what they had on their own.
So the Rebbe said, bring a fifth son to the Seder, and this lowlife said, either you believe or you don't believe, and your discussions feels like you're cursing me out. Very, very low level. We don't have this in religious Judaism. By the Kollel Jungelite, the Chazal system doesn't have this, and we don't have this in the Reform Judaism. This is a special new type of breed. I'm not a philosopher, I just give history. He was a guy, like a Litvish guy in the Kollel, and he said to me, wow, you don't keep Shabbos anymore, so we could have a shmooze about it, according to Chazal, and we could discuss it, and he will be masking with me from the pieces of history that he knows. But this guy here is so uneducated that I can't argue with him, not on the secular part. He has no idea what Mendelshon did for Klal Yisrael, and he has no idea in halacha. So the Brisker boys also didn't know about Mendelshon, but they knew halacha. So with the Brisker boys, I had a sprach with them in the rabbinic in Chazal, and they agreed right away. But this guy, neither Chazal nor he knows Mamala Kalam and a little bit Seif Kalam, but even that the shiurim weren't given properly. If you ask Nachman Shapiro about the classes, it was very vague. They never gave us the proper chart and which Mukabalim wrote what and which Mukabalim were Orthodox, and which Mukabalim were not. So this kid is basically, this is what he's left with, and if you read his paper, it's so, his little note and attack, it's irrelevant to the matter discussed above. And no, I'm not a Moses Mendelshon. Oh, it's so frustrating. But I'd love to take it apart so we understand, because he helped me bring about a new little series in explaining Moses Mendelshon. Known as the religion for the civilized. So Moses Mendelshon made that even though his grandkids converted to Christianity, tithing that Christianity is the religion of the civilized, still Moses Mendelshon worked very hard and shaped it that Chabad could be popular today, because we learned from him how you could accept people, tolerance, love the truth, and love peace even more, Moses Mendelshon said. So even though, the truth to us would be, let's say, now let it drive on Shabbos. It's a religious truth. It's not a real thing. We're not in Israel now. So, but we let people drive to shul on Shabbos. We let people have parties in Chabad with treifa food, and we turn a blind eye because we love peace even more. So this person is neither understands us. So he's trying to wind back Yiddishkeit back to its barbaric state, and pure barbarism, nothing to do. He wouldn't fit in with Chazal, he wouldn't fit in. So we have to be very, so when you study the little links I give you below, you guys will be able to see exactly, and you'll be able to see it very clearly. The easier it is to spot the problem, the easier it is to at least to either help him, or at least to know that he's a very bad guy for our blessed society.
So what Mendelshon did was, for the enlightened Jews and for the Goyim. A lot of Goyim read Mendelshon. A lot of Goyim tried to convert Mendelshon to Christianity, and it costed him his health. He was writing lots of letters and debates, but in the end, Mendelshon saved the entire Jewish community in Switzerland somewhere, maybe Basel, I'm not sure, you can look it up on Wikipedia, because of his friendship he had with other philosophers who were very trying to push him to accept the societal obligation of conversion to Christianity. And Mendelshon said, to me, Jesus is not a prophet. Jesus is a philosopher to me, because, of course, Jesus wasn't a philosopher. Of course, Jesus never started the church, and a fisherman in the Galilee could never write a polished Greek. So we know that even the church and Christianity, Jesus was just a guy trying to go yell against the temple practices. That's really what he was in his lifetime, and he got killed very young, so he really didn't do much. But to shape him into some type of figure that could be shoehorned into a concept of enlightenment for a different era. Back in the day, people didn't have that much philosophy and enlightenment. We had Greek philosophy, which was very helpful, and this is what shaped Chazal to create a Talmud, and it's a discussion. Talmud was a secular system, and so is the group. Talmud was a discussion of laws in a way without Urim V'Tumim. Urim V'Tumim is the priest has a box, and he tells you, in this box it's a radio head to God. It's a joke today if somebody pulled that out. But back in the day, our primitive ancestors and impoverished people believed this stuff. So the priest said, okay, we're going to tell you if God said we should go to war or we shouldn't go to war. But when you don't have Urim V'Tumim, you have people sitting down and saying, well, you have Rabbi Yechon ben Zakkai, and he says, you have to figure out a way to get past the Jewish zealots and to save Yiddishkeit for what it is today. So when he says, he argues that the Reform don't have people in shul. The Reform don't have people today, but they had a lot in their time, is because religion has become very irrelevant today. The more modern science provides you with meaning of life, meaning of life in a way that you have skilled and mastered a certain study, and you can apply it and help people from their suffering, and you can listen to people, and then there's a lot of spirituality in science as well. So Moses Mendelshon is not telling the Briske Bachrim to stop learning if they believe that the only way is through Talmud Torah. Neither is he going to convince the Briske Bacher that you need to learn Chassidus, because that's another article of faith that is foreign to them. They do not see Mamala Kalalman or Kisvei Arizal or any of this stuff, or Rashab Chassidus, as another form of worship for God, for the Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. They don't see it that way, and you're not going to convince them. Moses Mendelshon, or science, what we have today, does not make it impossible to believe, does not make it impossible to be religious. It makes it possible not to be. And that is a great gift of science, that one of the greatest scientists, Steve Weinberg, says that if that's science's only contribution to mankind, is to stop believing in ghosts or in an egomaniacal God of the Bible, and as the Rambam and Chassidus sees God in a very different way than the Bible sees it, a completely different God. The Yiddish God is a war God. Adonai ish milchama. So what we have here is the God of Chassidus is not a war God. It's a God of tshuva. It's a God of longing. It's a spiritual God. He's in nature. He's Baal Shem Tov in the field. It's not the God of halacha either, by the way. But the God of halacha, the God of Chazal, is not the God of the temple, the Urim V'Tumim, the box that gives you one message. When you have Urim V'Tumim, you don't need a discussion of Chazal discussing Beis Shammai, Beis Hillel, 2 pairs of tefillin. All that is because everybody has their tefillin. If you're Rabbeinu Tam, you wear Rabbeinu Tams. If you're Rashi, you wear Rashi. If you're Moshe Pipik, you wear Moshe Pipik's tefillin. But the need for 2 pairs of tefillin is nonsense. That's what the Gra said. And that's halacha. We are a religion of halacha, at least we claim to be. And if we're not, Neo-Hasidism is a better choice for you. So that's what we're discussing, and that's why we got a siren here. And that's why we have groups like this, and that's why Mark Zuckerberg is trying to get Wi-Fi around the world, because that's a secular agenda where people can discuss, share ideas, and once people can discuss and share ideas or free inquiry, then religion loses its grip. This guy is a slave. He has his trim beard. He's Chabad light. He's not secular, but he's not religious. So he has to deal with that psychic conflict when he sits by the Kinnis HaShluchim with Elter Chassidim. He wants to pretend he's one of them, but he can't pretend. They're far too sophisticated to see him as someone who can do anything better than sing some songs and maybe repeat a mimer, but not explain it in his own words. But if he could even chazer a mimer, he would probably be able to just repeat the mimer. He knows nothing about Chassidus, he knows nothing about Mendelshon, which is a great contribution to Chabad today, and he knows nothing about Chazal. So not the traditional Judaism, not the Hasidic Judaism, and not the Enlightenment. Erez Garnish, the girl that was with the beautiful boots, which I'm going to attach a picture of her, and she knows about Mendelshon, and she knows about the Christians and the Yidden and the Judaism and modernity more than this yokel. If she came to a Chabad house for whatever reason, she was invited to a bar mitzvah, and they asked her to give a Dvar Torah, she would give the best Dvar Torah ever heard. And she's drop dead gorgeous, I'm sorry to say. So you guys, the way you see women, the way your primitive way, your way you see women as your possession or meant to have babies to continue your Judaism, yeah, that's your weapon. Just like the Arabs say, our weapon is the woman's womb. We have more babies, more suicide bombers. Your weapon to have your shuls filled up is to indoctrinate children. That's not the weapon of the Reform. The Reform, if you want it, we make it easy for you to have your own religion. No need to convert to Christianity. We will give you Judaism in a beautiful way. And this is the message of Chabad today. So thank you guys for watching.